Hello friends, good morning to all of you. Today we will discuss accounting for depreciation. And before we discuss anything about depreciation, first of all you will have to understand about asset. Which kind of asset are subject to depreciation? तो आप नोट कर लो यहां पे कि asset is equal to depreciable asset. Depreciable asset are subject to depreciation. Okay, now you will ask question that what is depreciable asset? What is depreciable asset? The one question. And another question which we should discuss first, depreciation. What is depreciation all about? So we must know what is depreciation first of all, then we will go towards depreciable asset. So depreciation, what is depreciation? If anyone asks, what you would answer and what should be your correct answer? Just listen. It is a process of allocation of depreciable amount of any depreciable asset over its estimated useful life using any systematic method. And here we are. This is the depreciation meaning. And one thing you all must keep in your mind always, whenever you are doing accountancy or accounting, or whenever you are studying economics or law, you will have to learn the meaning. Okay, not the dictionary meaning is significant and important. If you are studying accounting, accounting meaning is important. And this is the accounting meaning of depreciation, not the dictionary meaning of depreciation. If you will search in your dictionary, you will find deterioration, decline in the book value of asset. Okay, but this is not depreciation as per the accounting definition. You will have to learn the accounting definition of any particular term. And here the term is depreciation. And today's topic is depreciation. So what is depreciation all about? We have to know. We have to consider. This is the meaning, and this is the meaning of depreciation as per accounting. Accounting meaning of depreciation it is. And you are supposed to answer the accounting meaning, not the dictionary meaning. And if you are watching, if you are reading your books, and if you find that depreciation, the term depreciation means any fall in the book value of asset due to any cause. This is not the accounting definition of depreciation, my dear brothers and sisters. Point should be noted. The meaning of depreciation is, it is a process of allocation of depreciable amount of any depreciable assets over its estimated useful life using any systematic method. This is the meaning of depreciation. And in this definition, we have come to notice that a particular word, depreciable and asset. So first of all, asset. What is asset? Assets are those valuable resources which are owned by, I'm repeating, assets are those valuable resources which are owned by any individual or any organization, and which are held for normal conduct of business, not for resale purpose. Okay. However, if it is held for resale purpose, it will be asset, but it will not be depreciable asset. But what is depreciable asset and what is the asset, which kind of asset is our subject matter of this particular topic, depreciation. So depreciable assets are the subject matter, and what is depreciation we have discussed. Now we will discuss what is and how we will identify that assets are depreciable assets. In few sentences and few lines I would make you clear that what assets can be classified as depreciable and non-depreciable. Assets which are held for resale purpose are not depreciable asset. Asset held for cash conversion purpose like bills receivable, sundry debtors, short-term investment, long-term investment, whatever, fixed deposits are not depreciable assets. Any intangible property or intellectual rights like patent rights, copyright, trademarks, goodwill, etc. are not subject to depreciation. Point should be clear in your mind. Okay. And this particular segment and this particular topic, initially it was dealt in AS6, and now AS6 has been removed, and in place of AS6 we have to study AS10, which is PPE, property, plant and equipment, and in this segment AS6 has been merged with AS10. Accounting Standard 10 you will have to study in your intermediate class, CA, CMA intermediate. You will have to learn what is Accounting Standard 10 and what are the contents of Accounting Standard 10, and in that segment you will also know and you will come to knowledge this particular line you will find in AS10, and this definition is given by AS10, not by me, not by any writer. So this become the accounting definition of depreciation particularly. So what is depreciation all about? Simple it is. It is the allocation process, not the deterioration. We don't bother about the depreciation and deterioration. We just bother about the cost, scrap and depreciable amount of any depreciable asset and its life. We used to spread it out by using any systematic method, and that systematic method may be, and this has been suggested by your Accounting Standard 10 as straight line method or diminishing balance method, whatever the case may be, and we will discuss immediately. First of all, let me make it clear that what is depreciable asset. First one, just I have told you, the asset which are held for the purpose of cash conversion, not depreciable asset. The asset which are to be consumed in the production process, not depreciable asset. The asset which will be converted into cash or cash equivalent, not depreciable asset. 4 point. Assets which are intangible. Asset, valuable resource it is, but intangible like copyright, trademarks, goodwill, patent rights are not depreciable asset. So you will ask question that how it would be written off. Lease, intellectual rights, goodwill. So different term will be used for writing off those types of intangible assets. Okay. And it is the subject matter of AS26 intangibles, not AS10. And we are just discussing about depreciation. So we will go through the depreciable assets. And how this is allocated, let me discuss about it. How it is allocated. So is it clear in your mind that which asset can be classified as depreciable asset? Which are held in the normal conduct of the business, which estimated useful life is finite but more than one financial period, okay, which are not to be consumed in the production process, which are not held for resale purpose, which are not held for the purpose of cash conversion, are depreciable assets. Is it clear? And also the assets are not intangible in nature. So tangible assets are depreciable assets having estimated useful life which is finite. Land is not depreciable assets. One can say land is not depreciable assets. Why? Because it is infinite. Its life is infinite. But agricultural land whose life can be determined, then it would be depreciable asset. Building can be depreciated assets. Will you call building depreciable asset or not? Yes. Buildings. Yes, it is depreciable asset. Car. Depreciable asset. But car in the hands of car dealer. Stock. So a stock is Not depreciable assets. Why it is not depreciable assets? Reason is that it is held for resale purpose. So if you are holding any asset for resale purpose, it is not depreciable asset. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now the major concern is systematic method. What are the systematic method? There are also methods, and all those methods are having their own significance and importance. But when we talk about these two methods which has been suggested by Accounting Standard 10 or previously Accounting Standard 6, those methods are straight line method and diminishing balance method. And also this accounting standard, particularly AS10, deals about the change in method. And why such change, how such change, what are the impacts, we will discuss in the next segment. But today we will discuss about SLM and DBM. Okay, so let's move towards the SLM. Systematic method of allocation, first of all, a straight line method, SLM. I think you all are very much familiar with this term, SLM, a straight line method, or
Installment method.
fixed installment method,
Original cost method.
or original cost method, or uniform charge method. I am using abbreviation, but you have to complete these abbreviations, otherwise you will forget. So please note it down. SLM, it means a straight line method. FIM, it means fixed installment method. OCM, original cost method. UCM, uniform charge method. Please note it down immediately, my dear friends. Have you done it?
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Now listen to me. Cost of asset, rupees 1,20,000. A scrap value, rupees 20,000. Estimated useful life, 5 years. So what we will do from this particular method, the cost of asset is, what is the cost? 1,20,000, isn't it? A scrap value is 20,000. Estimated useful life is 5 years. And if the method is a straight line method, how we will allocate the depreciable amount? Total depreciable amount, 120 minus 20 is equal to 1 lakh. 1 lakh, it is called depreciable amount. Okay. However, it is cost, it is a scrap value. What is a scrap value? This is the value which will be realized after the expiry of the life of the asset, which is 5 years. This is depreciable amount, and this depreciable amount will be allocated 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 years. First year, second year, third year, fourth year and fifth year. Okay. The total cost, this is 1,20,000. It will not be allocated, but which will be allocated? This one will be allocated. How it will be allocated? 1 lakh total depreciable amount divided by estimated useful life, it would be 20,000. And 20,000 in the first year, 20,000 in the second year, 20,000 in the third year, 20,000 in the fourth year and 20,000 in the fifth year. But at the end of fifth year, what would be the balance of asset account? 20,000, which is equal to a scrap value, isn't it? It's very simple, sir. I have got it. Okay. But whenever I would ask you to find out the rate of depreciation from SLM in this particular question, would you please tell me what is the rate of depreciation? How would you calculate rate of depreciation? If this question is concerned, in particularly this question, depreciation amount Annual depreciation, this is AD. Depreciable amount is 20,000 into 100 divided by 1,20,000. What is the rate? Tell me now. 1,20,000 is the cost. 20,000 is the annual depreciation. You can derive the rate. What is the rate? 16.67, approximately 16.67%. Will you call it? Approx, isn't it? And it will be written off this 1,20,000, 16.67 every year for 5 years will bring down the asset nearby 20,000, isn't it? Is it clear?
Yes.
So is it possible that any change, what change I'm asking, just try to understand. This is the estimated useful life, 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, 4 year or 5 year. Okay. After 3 year, first, second, 3. After 3 year, and analysis is done every year, review is done every year as per, just we were talking about AS10. Every year, if you have charged depreciation in 1 year, you have to review the method, you have to review the amount, you have to review the impact. Every year, you will have to review. Okay, and after 3rd year, you feel that the asset would move 2 more years. Move 2 more years, what it means? 2 more years it would survive. Is it possible or not? 2 more years it would survive. Is it possible or not? 1, 2. Then a scrap value 20,000. Additional 2 years. And then a scrap value. What will happen then? No? You don't know? In such a situation, what will be done? So this types of question you will have to face, because you all are professional students. Try to understand. It's very simple. I'm not making the things complicated. But is it possible or not?
Yes.
Suppose you have purchased furniture for rupees 1,20,000. 1,20,000 furniture, and the expert told you that it would fetch 20,000 after the expiry of its estimated useful life, which is 5 years, and you are charging depreciation rupees 20,000 per month, annual depreciation, that is AD. Okay, first year you have charged 20,000, second year you have charged 20,000, and third year you have charged 20,000. And after charging this depreciation, 4th, 5th, and the life has estimated 6 and 7, 2 more additional years life has been anticipated. What will be done? Is this a question mark or not? Have you ever seen such types of question in your study note or in your class notebook or whatever? No? But you will have to tackle these types of questions, and we will discuss such types of thing. But one thing, first of all, let me clear, it is a straight line method, it is simple one, and how to revise the estimated revision of estimated useful life, it is a topic and which we will discuss and cover in the next segment. Okay, but right now I have to move toward the next segment, taking the same example, DBM, then we will discuss. Okay, so let me discuss first about DBM and how to calculate the rate of depreciation and how to charge depreciation from diminishing balance method. Simple if rate is given. Here, rate was not given. Point should be noted, my dear friend. Don't be esoteric. Just listen. Do not be confused. Just listen to me. Here, cost was given, scrap value was given, estimated useful life was given. Okay, so we find the rate of depreciation. Suppose all are given. Let's suppose, what will you do? Let me ask a question from SLM. Question, next question. Cost of asset, rupees 1,20,000. scrap value rupees 20,000. Estimated useful life not given. Okay, it is not given. Rate of depreciation is given. Rate of depreciation 20%. What will you do? Tell me the amount of depreciation, annual depreciation, SLM.
20,000.
From SLM. What will you do?
20,000.
24,000? Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
But if it is given from DBM, what will you do?
First में 24,000.
DBM, diminishing balance method, or reducing balance method, or WDVM, written down value method. First year 120 is 20%, it would be 24,000. Is it clear? 120 minus 24,000, what it would be?
96,000.
96,000. And its depreciation 96,000, 20%, what would be the figure?
19,200.
19,200. Again 96,000 minus 19,200,
76,800.
76,800, and it's 20% once again.
16. 15,360. 15,360.
And so on.
Yes, minus
Okay. The only important thing you will have to understand, the rate of depreciation was given, cost of asset was given, scrap value is never taken into consideration. Okay, but we will move, we will charge and keep on charging depreciation unless until the amount is more than 20,000. Whenever it comes nearby the scrap value, we will stop charging depreciation. Is it clear? Is it clear? Because from DBM or from WDVM, written down value method, or reducing balance method, or diminishing balance method, the assets book value will never come to zero. If a scrap value is not given, okay, keep on charging depreciation. Keep on charging year after year after deducting depreciation, each year depreciation, but you cannot find the value zero.
Point में चलो.
Is it true?
Yes, sir.
So this is the major feature of this particular method of charging depreciation, because asset will never come to the value of zero. It will have some value. Okay, so this method is suitable there. Now I'm not talking about the suitability of methods, whether it is SLM or DBM. Now what I want to ask and what I want to make you all understand, this is very, very interesting thing, and you will have to use your calculator. Let me discuss about how to find out rate of depreciation from diminishing balance method if cost of asset scrap value and estimated useful life are given. Taking the same example, I am taking the same example as we have taken cost rupees 1,20,000, scrap value rupees 20,000, and estimated useful life five years. Find out rate of depreciation from diminishing balance method. Is it clear?
Yes, sir.
And just you have done how to find out this depreciation rate. What you have to do, you have to follow some steps. You have to use your calculator, and the very first step, what you will do, a scrap value divided by cost. Okay. Result, what result you have got? What you will do to this result? Second step, use root under button with that result 12 times. Okay. The step number 3, third step, -1, fourth step, divided by life, fifth step, +1, sixth step, into and is equal to 12 times. Seventh step, -1 into 100. Result will be rate. So do it with me, and I am using calculator here, and you will have to do the perfect use with your cool head, and initially you will have to be very concentrated here. Okay, how you will do it? First of all, clear all the memories. Okay, and take this scrap value, which is 20,000, divide it with cost, which is 1,20,000. Always remember, scrap value will be numerator, and in denominator your cost will be taken. Okay, so what is the result? 20,000 divided by 1,20,000. The result is 0.1666 infinite. Result is 0.16666 infinity. If you are using calculator with me, you will have this result. And what you will do, second step, this is the second step, use root under button 12 times with that result. Whatever we are having, this one, and what I will do, 12 times root under button. This is root under button. I have to use 12 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 and 12. This is the result. You can see this is the result. 0.99956. 12 times you have used and the result is 0.99956. Okay. Now what you have to do, the third step, this is the third step, minus 1. Only you have to do minus 1. Minus 1. Okay. Now you will have minus 0.004373. Minus 0.0004373. Okay. Now fifth step, what you have to do in the fifth step, divided by estimated useful life. So this is the result, and in this result what we are doing, divided by estimated useful life, which is given 5 years. Here it is. So divided by 5. I have done it. Now minus 0.00087. Okay, divided by life I have done. So result is here minus 0.004 times 0, 1, 2, 3, 4 times 0, 8, 7, 4, 6, 9. Now fifth step, this is the fifth step, plus 1. Plus 1. Now the result is 0.9999. The result is, after adding plus 1, 0.9999, 4 times 9, 125. 125. Now move towards the sixth step. Into and is equal to buttons. Into and is equal to button. Both you will have to press and you will have to count 1. Into is equal to 1. Into is equal to 2. Into is equal to 3. So as 12 times you have to do. Okay. So into is equal to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So result is 0.69887. Now the result is 0.6988709. Now minus 1 and multiplied by 100. Minus 1. Minus 1. Minus 1, after doing minus 1, the result is minus 0.30. Okay. 1, 2 multiplied by 100, it is 30% exact. I would say 30%, and we will remove the minus sign. This is 30%. The result is 30%. Okay. And let me check it out, whether is it true or false. So we will have to calculate the depreciation and will it come nearby a scrap value or not. Okay, take the SS of this particular slide. I am moving toward the next segment of this particular solution, because we have to prove that whatever we have calculated the 30% rate, and we will charge depreciation from diminishing balance method till the end for 5 years, and in the end we must have nearby 20,000 after charging depreciation from diminishing balance method at the rate of 30% per annum. So I am moving there. Cost was 1,20,000. So what was the cost? 1,20,000. Okay. The cost was to bank 1,20,000. by depreciation 30% I am charging. What would be the depreciation, beta? Tell me. 1,20,000, 30%. 36,000. Balance CD 120 minus 36. It would be 84,000. First year. 2 balance BD 84,000. By depreciation 30%. 25,200. By balance CD 58,800. Isn't it? This is second year. First, second, and now moving toward thirds. 2 balance BD 58,800. By depreciation 58,800. 30%. 17,640. Balance CD minus 58,800. 41,160. Is it correct?
Yes, sir.
Third, fourth year. 2 balance BD 41,160. By depreciation 12,348. By balance CD 41,160. 28,812. And this is the fifth year, and this is the final year. 2 balance 28,812. By depreciation 30%. 8,643. 8,643. 44. 43, 44 it would be. 43.6 it is. So I am approximating 8,644. Okay, 28,812 minus 8644. 20,168 approximate it is, because while calculating depreciation rate we move towards 2 digit 30%, not 30.11%, and it was 30.11%, and here I am doing approximation, so it is nearby the scrap value, which is rupees 20,000. So this method is justified and not wrong. So have you got how to solve the inverse power and how to calculate rate of depreciation? Now what I want to say, this is asset account. Okay, this is asset account. Okay, if we have purchased asset, what entry we will pass? Asset account debit to bank account, isn't it? Asset account debit to bank account, and we will debit the asset account with that figure 1,20,000. And what we will do after charging depreciation for this one, what entry we will pass? Depreciation account debit to assets account normally, because provision for depreciation is not kept here. And simple method we have followed, and in this method what we have done, we have credited the amount of depreciation to assets account each and every year. You can see here, you can see quite easily that each year's depreciation has been credited to assets account, and each year asset has been balanced. After charging depreciation, asset account has been balanced. So we have discussed about two things. First, charging depreciation from a straight line method and from diminishing balance method. But these are the methods of allocation of depreciable assets. into or towards its estimated useful life. But we have to know the two methods of recording depreciation also. So we will discuss right now what are those two methods of recording depreciation. Whether you are charging depreciation from SLM or DBM, it doesn't matter. The matter is that how would you record the depreciation, it matters. Okay, so let me discuss now the two methods of recording depreciation. Methods of recording depreciation. First, direct charge to asset. Provision for depreciation method. Okay, these are the two methods of recording depreciation. Don't talk, please. Listen to me. So first method, what suggests for charging depreciation? First entry for charging depreciation, what entry will you pass? Depreciation account debit to assets account, because asset is directly credited to assets account. But when provision for depreciation account method is adopted for charging depreciation, what entry for charging depreciation? Depreciation is debited. Depreciation account is debited. Okay, but which account is credited? Provision for depreciation account is credited, isn't it? A separate account is kept for depreciation, not credited to asset account. The amount of depreciation, each year's amount of depreciation is not credited to asset account. Rather, it is credited to a newly opened account which is known as provision for depreciation account. Each year, the same entry will be passed. If you are following this method, amount of depreciation will be credited to asset account. And if you are following this method, amount of annual depreciation will not be credited to assets account. Then the question arises, to which account we will credit the amount of depreciation? Provision for depreciation account. Is it clear?
Yes.
Now the second entry, each and every year the second entry is also passed, which is similar to both the method. Statement of profit and loss or profit and loss account debit to depreciation account. And here same entry is passed, profit and loss account debit to depreciation account. Okay. When the asset is disposed of or sold out or discarded, okay, what entry is passed for on sale of asset? Bank account debit profit and loss account debit to asset account or to profit and loss account. Try to understand. You have purchased an asset for rupees 1,20,000, okay, and you have charged depreciation. First year 20,000, second year 20,000, third year 20,000. So first year this entry will be passed for 20k, isn't it? Okay. So first year depreciation to assets. So assets was 1,20,000. Assets cost was 1,20,000, and you have charged depreciation rupees 20,000. Written down value 1 lakh. Second year again you have charged 20,000. Written down value 80,000. Third year again you have charged 20,000. 60,000. Suppose if you have sold that asset for 55,000, what? 55,000 bank account debit, 5,000 profit and loss debit, to assets 60,000, isn't it?
Yes.
In that case there is no profit. So profit and loss, then profit and loss will be credited only if there is profit on sale, and profit and loss will be debited if there is loss. So written down value and sale consideration will be compared. The sale consideration was 55 and your written down value 60,000. And if it would have been sold for 65,000, what entry you could have passed? Bank account debit 65,000, to assets account 60,000, to profit and loss 5,000. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
But if you have charged depreciation and you have recorded depreciation under this method, provision for depreciation method, so on sale or disposal of asset, what entry will you pass? On sale of asset. First, what you have to do for total depreciation on sale of, for total depreciation on asset sold, provision for depreciation debit to asset account, and we have charged 60K in 3 years. Okay, we have charged total depreciation how much? 60K. So this entry is required. What entry is required? Provision for depreciation account is debited and asset account is credited. Tell me beta, is it clear?
Yes, sir.
So depreciation was not credited to assets account, and what we have done here, provision for depreciation to asset. Now in the end or at the expiry of the date or whatever, if the asset is being disposed of, now we have credited this one 60,000 rupees to asset account. Okay, and for sale consideration, whatever we have received so far, what entry will be passed? For sale consideration, bank account debit, suppose again 55,000, or let me take 65 here. Okay, I am taking 65 now. Here I have taken 55 and here I am taking 65,000. It is being sold out for more than the written down value. The written down value is 60,000 because the cost was 1,20,000. Total depreciation up to the date of sale was 60,000. So its written down value is 60,000. And now we are selling that asset for 65,000. So bank account will be debited 65,000 to asset account. Your asset gone to profit and loss account 5,000. Is it clear now? So this is the case we have to do, and we will have to discuss a lot about depreciation, and some practical questions are also needed here. And how we will do, you can understand that these are the basics of depreciation, accounting entries. And if you are not knowing the accounting entries, it will be some problematic situation before you. You will have to face some difficulties while preparing your accounts. Otherwise, you will not find any sort of problem. So accounting entries are must. You will have to be very, very confident about accounting entries, what accounting entries are passed under these two methods. And these two methods are very, very simple method. Okay, but as far as this particular method is concerned, questions are frequently asked in your CA foundation and your CMA intermediate, CA intermediate, particularly this particular method, because what will be given? Total written down value of assets, the original cost of asset will be given, and total depreciation up to the date will be given. New asset will be purchased in the financial period, and some of the asset will be sold out in the financial period, and you will have to calculate the total amount of accumulated depreciation at the end, and profit or loss on sale of asset, and Finally, you have to prepare both these two accounts, provision for depreciation account and assets account, for only 1 year. But you will have to move backwards to find out the original cost or whatever the asset which has been sold out. Profit or loss you will have to calculate. So a vast working note is required there. So we will discuss such types of question in the next segment. And as far as this particular session is concerned, what we have learned, just please recap. Let me recap all these what we have done today. Okay. So first of all, we have discussed about accounting for depreciation, and firstly we have discussed about asset, what is asset and which kind of asset we have to consider as far as depreciation is concerned. So only depreciable assets are concerned as far as depreciation is concerned. And what is the meaning of depreciation? We have discussed about what is the meaning of depreciation. Okay. In the next segment, we discussed about straight line method, fixed installment method, or OCM, but original cost method, UCM, uniform charge method. And we took an example, and in which the cost of asset was 1,20,000, scrap value 20,000, estimated useful life for 5 years. We calculated depreciation and the rate of depreciation. Okay, just we discussed these two things, and thereafter we moved towards the calculation of depreciation from DBM or reducing balance method or WDV method. Rate is given. The rate of depreciation is given, SLM and DBM. So from DBM, we have calculated the depreciation by reducing balance method. Hanji?
Non-uniform charge method.
Non-uniform charge method, you may call it, but it is not prevalent. And if you will say, only you can say, and anyone can understand, then it would okay. No problem. Okay. Further, what we discussed, it was very, very tricky, and it is very, very interesting. Why it is very, very interesting? Because you have to tackle your examination, and this particular type of calculator is allowed in your examination. Anyone can say that, sir, you are using calculator and you are teaching with calculator and you are suggesting students to use calculator. It is not fair, sir. But I would say, my dear friends, you are a commerce student, and if you are doing calculations on calculator, it is desired and it is required. Without using calculator, you cannot move forward. That is why the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India, Institute of Company Secretaries of India, and Institute of Cost and Management Accountant of India, which is also known as ICAI. Okay. And they are allowing calculator even to the foundation students, because it is desirable, it is absolutely necessary, it is indispensable in the practical life. Okay, so it is used and it is allowed in your examination. So you have to save your time. You have to solve MCQ. And in MCQ, if you will have spent a lot of time in calculation work, then you will be puzzled, you will be lame duck in your examination. Okay, so you have to know how to use calculator smartly, and if you are not using your calculator smartly, then there is nothing. You are not having advantages of calculator. So you must use calculator. One thing I would like to make you clear: if you go towards mathematical application or solving this particular segment or this particular question along with the example given, or sorry, formula given in your book, you can solve it, no problem. But you will consume more time. If you practice a bit 2 or 3 times, if you use this calculator, and 5 years and 6 years, what I am saying, if it is 6 year or 7 year, and you are using your formula, you will find yourself in deep trouble. You will consume a lot of time. But if you use calculator, and here 7 years estimated useful life, you can calculate within fraction of seconds. It's my guarantee. Okay, so use calculator and do practice for this one. Okay, how to calculate rate of depreciation from diminishing balance method. Never ignore this one, otherwise you will lose score in your examination. Points should be noted. Next, what we have discussed about we justified with that rate what we calculated. In the earlier slide, 120 was the cost. Rate of depreciation we estimated 30% approx, and it is nearby after charging depreciation for 5 years, and a scrap value, it is nearby a scrap value. So rate of depreciation what we have calculated, it was nearby correct and absolutely correct, because we did approximation. Okay. Next, what we did, yes, here we discussed something about Methods of recording depreciation: first, direct charge to assets method, and second, provision for depreciation method. And under both these two methods, what are the features, what are the advantages, what are the limitations, we haven't discussed as yet, but you have to practice this one and you have to solve question from these two methods. Only one question, solve these two methods. With the help of these two methods, you will be on the driving seats. Okay, so thank you very much. Now I would say bye-bye to all of you.